Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Cody the Coin Raptor, and today I want to go ahead and give an update on how Bitcoin miners are doing and something big I've noticed. But before we get to that, be sure to smash that subscribe button to see my latest content and leave a like if you like this content and would like to see more. So, the first thing I want to talk about right now is the Bitcoin network hash rate. And I've come over here to the hash rate index because this is probably one of the nicest charts I've seen so far for this. But the Bitcoin hash rate index shows us that the hash rate has recovered dramatically from the bottom here of around December 27th or so. It has come up all the way back up here from a bottom of 229 all the way back up here to about 272. And this level was actually higher than what we've seen in the previous recovery here in December 10th. And now what this is telling me is that the miners are coming back online. The hash rate is a measurement of how much of the total hashing power is available on the blockchain. And so what we're seeing here is a pretty strong recovery of this hash rate. If we zoom out and we take a look at the big picture here for 1 year, you can notice that it's almost at the absolute peak, which it made back in November, surprisingly enough, of 273. And then again, it came back over there at about November 12th at 273. But we reached a recent high of about 271 in January 3rd. So we've seen almost a complete and total recovery of the network hash rate, despite the fact that we've seen plunging Bitcoin prices. And so one reason for this is potentially the incredible fall of the Bitcoin ASIC prices. This is the Bitcoin ASIC price index. I've talked about this before on my channel, but the ASIC price index, you can kind of think of it like a measurement of the ASIC prices, right? And ASICs are going to be the best machine that you can use, the most efficient machine that you can use to mine Bitcoin. So one thing we've seen here is that the most efficient ASICs, the ones that here in the red line that say under 38, these are the cheapest so far. They're at the cheapest level that we've seen in a year, maybe even more. And if we zoom out and we take a look at the Bitcoin ASIC price index, the all-time, what we can see here is that it's never actually been any cheaper right now than it is right now. So it's never been cheaper than it is right now to get one of the most efficient Bitcoin miners. Okay, and so what that tells me is that these miners, right, these mining firms or these individuals or these mining pools have been going out and probably buying the cheapest, most efficient ASICs that are on the market, and they're able to still maintain profitability. So that's one thing I've also talked about here in the channel is that this bear market will completely destroy the miners that are not the most efficient. And so we've seen the hash rate recover significantly from the bottom here of December 27th. Now, if we actually take a look at our miner profitability with the Puell Multiple, we can see here that we are firmly out of this green zone here. And just as a reminder, the Puell Multiple is going to give you an idea of the profitability of the Bitcoin miners. And as long as we stay out of this green zone here, that means the miner profitability is doing fairly well. Okay, as soon as it dips into this green zone here, the miner profitability takes a big nosedive. And the last time it was here, it was December 24th. We zoom in here and we take a look at this. It's actually at what they call 0.65, which is far removed from the 0.35 low. So what we're taking away from this is the fact that the miner profitability right now is actually fairly decent. And this is the long-term view of this. Definitely recommend if you guys check this out. It's on the lookintobitcoin.com. And right now what we're seeing is it's more profitable than it has been in the past. And if we just look at, say, 2022, it's almost at the range of February, I'd say, almost February, January, the lows of February and January. So it's very close to earlier in the year. And we've seen a pretty huge recovery in the Bitcoin miner profitability, and I think that's largely due to the fact that the ASIC prices have come down significantly and these miners have become more and more efficient. If we look at the miners revenue here from blockchain.com, we can see a similar recovery in miners revenue, and we can see here that it has almost reached the peak back up here at the 13th of December. It's very close, but it looks like it's peaking a little bit. However, it still has a pretty dramatic recovery from the bottom here, and again, the 27th of December. So I think that's a pretty positive sign, though it does seem to overall be in kind of a downtrend here. And next, I want to go ahead and look at the miners revenues as well. So miners revenue, miners reserve on CryptoQuant. The miners reserve is going to give you an idea of how many coins are held by the miners' wallets. And we can see here we've actually had a pretty sharp uptick in the number of coins on the miners' wallets. So what that's telling me is that they have not been selling as strongly in the past, call it 2 or 3 weeks or so. And that's not surprising when you take a look at the Bitcoin price. You see it's kind of stabilized quite a bit in the last 2 or 3 weeks. The miners right now have not really been adding that extra selling pressure that we are kind of normally used to seeing. And the miners reserve is starting to uptick a little bit. So I think that's actually a pretty positive sign for the market. Now, I don't think that we're out of the woods just yet when it comes to the Bitcoin miners, because we've seen in the past where a huge drop in the price leads to a huge drop in miner profitability, and then miners have to sell, and then they push the price down even lower. So I don't think we're out of the woods just yet for this, but this is a very positive sign that things are starting to get better for the miners, and as things get better for the miners, things get better for the Bitcoin price, because they're no longer adding that extra selling pressure to the Bitcoin price. All right. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that the miners are going to continue to be under pressure? Now, do you think that if we have another huge collapse in the Bitcoin price, that you're actually going to see that reflected by the miners, and the miners are going to capitulate even further? Or do you think that we're done, we're free and clear at this point, and the worst of it is over? I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Leave a comment below, and I'll catch you in the next video.